Okay, looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Alex Kolosko is here, your instructor, one of the instructors uh, of the Complete Guide to Product Photography Certification Program. This is our September Q&A video session where I'll be answering your questions, basically. Well, anything that you may have for me regarding the course itself or photography in general, I'm here to answer your questions. Okay. Hello, Julian. I see. I see people on chat. I see you guys. I mean, I see that you see me. Please let me know how do you hear me? How do you see me? Plus, if everything is fine, if something is not right, let me know. So I hope. Wow, it's a halo. I didn't notice. I have some nice spot behind me. Hi. Oh, it's getting hot. Let me turn on. The air conditioner. Getting hot here. Okay. Sounds great. All is good, right? All is good. It will be a little bit noisy, but you will hear me for sure because, well, I'll try to do my best. So, the very first thing that I usually do, I look at the forum, okay? There is certification forum, I mean the dedicated forum for certification program. And I don't see anything, well, the last one, let me see, did I answer it or not? Well, I probably, well, not sure if I've seen this. Crop website, this is we're going to answer, or I already did. Okay, so we'll talk. I can answer these questions, and if you want me to cover anything in the future, this is the right way to post your questions so I can address them either answering directly or talking about this on the next workshop. You understand, right? Okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dot, Nate, Naeem, Anthony, Julian. Cool. So let's see. Crop website. Mahir was asking about crop, and I wasn't sure what exactly website he's referring to, but I think it's about layout. So if you go to website, let's say my portfolio, one of the portfolios, right, and any category on it, let's say jewelry, every photo, right? Every photo has similar crop. It's square, but it's not the real crop of the photo. As you can see, they have slightly different crops. This is the layout, guys, and it's basically dependent on what kind of software, I mean, what program do you use to create the portfolio. It's cool when on the previews, it will be cropped. I mean, it will crop your images because they should be looking all the same, just like a tiles on the preview layout, like thumbnails, and then you click and it opens the real image, right? So this is kind of cool stuff. You don't see much. Let me see. Okay, like this. So this is the layout I'm talking about, right? And every image has different crop. As you can see, it's definitely different crop, but it works, okay? So this is about crop. And I do not crop images like final images. I do not crop whatever is coming. They have slightly different layouts and stuff like that. Already. Well, it was a question, but I did answer it. I can see there is a video about frontal reflection. Okay. Glass and polished metal. Let's see. Can I get some links? For example, products which can be fit in this category. Glass and polished metal. Well, anything, yeah. guys. It's the assignments. This is the assignment number 2. So when you shoot basic stuff, the whole idea is to see how you can work with different type of surfaces. Okay, it just you need to know how to shoot matte, how to shoot semi-glossy and completely glossy, whatever it would be. You know, I do have completely like metal polished stuff, but it's up to you. Please don't try to do the same thing that I did. I mean, same subject. Always try to shoot different, especially when you will be shooting for your for more advanced stuff. Basically, images that can be good for your portfolio, something creative and nice. Make sure that you use a different product, different than me. Because if it will be all the same and other students can do the same, you may get lost. You know, I mean, people may mix your image with somebody else and vice versa. It's never a good idea. Like, hey, I've seen this image and I think that guy did it, not you. I mean, it's not good, right, to hear something like this. So something unique, always shoot unique. Okay. Alrighty, guys, any questions? Here we have a chat for, okay? Ask me, because I think that's it. Well, no, there are the last one. While thinking, because I don't see any messages yet, so, well, if there is no messages, will be done on this Q&A soon. But meanwhile, I can see, oh, it was just assignment posted, it's not real question. So, Lida, if you'll be watching this video, please post on the admin note, right? And there are 2 different systems. If you guys, well, you probably know already, right? There is different platforms where you can access the how you call it, the lesson materials, right? It may look a little bit different, but assignment is always under the on that assignment page. It should be a form for you to submit images. This is how you submit image, right? You don't post it on the forum. On forum, it's only questions. And talking about this, it looks really cool, actually. Good, do it yourself. Okay, now questions. Let me see. Do we have tricks to get new products that we can return for free, like perfume bottle? Julian is asking. Return for free, you mean like buy and then shoot and then return? Well, it's not much tricks. You need to have stores that has a good return policy, depending on your country and your city, whatever you living in. We here in California, in US, basically, we do have several stores with great return policy. For example, Costco. Costco, you can return stuff like, I don't know, almost like 3 years later if needed. But they never ask questions and you just return things. Target, large retails, they do have good return policy. Many of our assignments on ProClub, for example, like that vacuum cleaner. You've seen Dyson vacuum cleaner with neon lights, I bought it and then I returned it. No restocking fee. But you need to know the return policy for the store, if this is what you've been asking. Okay. So question, got it. How much DPI for photos on website? Okay, there is no DPI on photos for website. You guys don't be don't get mixed. DPI, it's dots per inch, right? Dots per inch. Inches is something is about print media. When you print, it makes difference 72 dots per inch or 300 or 600 or 1200, right? It's a difference in quality. But on the monitor, the size of the monitor in inches, we don't care about it, right? The monitor, the real thing about resolution, it's pixels. So there is no DPI. On the monitor, if you, let's say, save image 3000 by 3000 pixels, it completely doesn't matter what kind of DPI it is, because it will be on any monitor, it will be 3000 by 3000. But when you print it, that's where it could be different, but you can always save it differently, you know. So for the website, I mean, put any DPI. 300 by default, but it has no difference because, again, it's all about pixels. And talking about pixels, I do recommend web size. It's about 3000 pixels. You know, modern monitors, they're relatively large, 5K, 4K, 3000 pixels, it's a good size on the widest part. And it's still relatively fast to load, okay? But, well, still, your professional portfolio is not for everyone. I mean, it's not just like a Facebook or, you know, Google Plus photos. This is for professionals. I mean, for people who are looking for photographer, they have some products. It's commercial portfolio, right? Meaning that it's better to have good quality. You can go up to, you know, 4000 pixels when you click and image opens in full, to make sure that it opens on the full screen. I mean, on large monitor, on a good monitor, let's say 5K display, advertising agency or good client supposed to have a good display, right? They have money. If they don't have money for good display, well, not sure if they will pay you money for your work, right? You understand? So, okay, 3,000-4,000 maximum. Okay. I was wondering, another question, if there is a time limit to finish the course. I have some delays. No, Jim and everyone, there is no time limit to finish the course. We used to have 1 year, it was like 12 months, just to make you guys to do something. Basically, there is no business reason for us to limit your time, but like I said, it was just to push you. We completely now officially kind of released, removed that limit, so it's lifetime access. You can go for as long as you want, but better to finish it faster and then just use it as a reference if you need to know something. But I mean, what to wait? Okay, but no limitation. When posting an assignment, should we let you know that it's posted? I posted mine about 2 weeks ago, and how long does it usually takes for the review? Antonin. Well, usually it should be not more than 7-10 days. Now we have delays because, you know, all this stuff that is going on, and some of our reviewers get really busy, and unfortunately, so I'm sorry about this. 2 weeks should be good. I mean, you should be reviewed really shortly. You don't need to notify us because we receive email, and actually it's several emails across the team about every submission. If you submit it, you'll get a notification. And we have a person that regularly every day checks new submissions anyway, just, you know, load the page on admin web site. So no additional notice needed. Okay. Next one from C's. Just started the course week. Can you provide guidance on normal speed of going through lessons, assignments, submissions to complete course in about 1 year? See, there is no, it's up to you. But like I said, 1 year, it's more like mental boundaries for you. But in reality, if you have time, do it. If you don't have time, you can put it aside and do some other stuff. There is no official speed, really, because I've seen people who've been completed everything in less than 6 months, and we do have students for almost 2 years, and they didn't complete it yet. So it's really like this. But I would love to push you somehow, because we are great people, but we've been lazy time to time. I mean, myself for sure, and many times. And any push from behind is usually a good thing, right, to have. So, okay, another question. Hi, Alex. To start with 22 by 90 strip box, okay? 22 by 90, yes, it's about a good ratio. I mean, it will be a strip box. So yeah, definitely. It's small enough. It's cool stuff, yeah. I mean, 2290 is perfect. Yep. Next question. Do you think light meter is useful for beginning product photography? From Ed. Ed, no. It's not useful. I mean, I didn't. Okay, I'll throw myself. I didn't find any good use of it in product photography, and not only me. Most of our instructors, well, all of our instructors that I know, and other photographers, product photographers that I know personally, don't use it. It's just too small room. There is no reason. I mean, you should usually tether it. You're supposed to shoot tethered because it's hard to judge what you got looking at the camera screen, right? It's small. So when you shoot tether it, you can have exposure warning. You can have everything. You see it immediately after shot. You can see your exposure, and you can see, which light is too much or too low. And this is the real. I mean, your eyes plus histogram. You can tune on all kind of digital helpers, assistants on your program, whatever you'll be using for remote shooting. And this is the best way to judge exposure. A light meter was made, for cameras when it was no digital, when it was film. Well, it was way more critical areas. That's one thing. Another thing that it made for people or for large subjects. On people, I can have one light on one side, another light on another side, and I can measure each light, independently and all the stuff, just from different sides. What's the reason to do it for? Let's say you shoot jewelry. There are maybe 7 lights all around, 6, whatever, and they stuck around very little space. So I don't see any reason. Okay. Another question. Allowing the course. Thank you. I'm on the food section. I haven't Lawrence much. I have on other sections. Wondering if you have any additional food tutorials you can share. Well, it's interesting to know why you think you didn't learn. What is it? Because it was more like a speed light type of photography for food, or because you see, we shoot different types of food. We shoot it with very kind of simple, very non-expensive setup, right? Just speed lights. The reason for this is that most of the time you'll be shooting food on the client side in restaurant. It's rare when restaurant come to you to cook stuff. It's possible. I mean, we had such shots, but it was for book. And when we had the kitchen and everything in the studio, it's possible. But still, most of the time, food photographers work at restaurant. Speed lights is easier to carry, but of course, well, it's easier technically to work with larger lights, AC powered and stuff like this. We don't have, answering your question, we don't have it right away. I may license because we have nice class. It's standalone course from Rob Andrew. I can talk to him to see if we can get license to use it in a certification program. This is the only other food that we have, plus maybe some workshops that we had in Pro Club, food photography workshops. But for now, well, we didn't have any request before that to shoot. I mean, to add food. For example, this is food photography, right? It's in Pro Club. What else? This is, well, not much food. Actually, we do have food here, right? Product, jewelry, food, beverage. On the menu. Oh yeah, this is cool one. So we have quite food photography stuff. This is food. Yeah. Okay, actually we do have, if you ask, maybe we can include some, like this one. It's just in studio stuff, and this is assignments people did. So, okay. Thanks for the question. I'll think about it. Okay. Steph asking, so I'm going through questions, guys. Sorry, it takes time. 1 second. Okay. Starting the quiz last week, do you recommend having walls with a certain color in your studio? Okay, so color of walls and ceiling and floor probably in the studio. I do recommend it to have at least somewhere between white and black. It shouldn't be colored, meaning no color tint, hopefully, right? Because you need to limit spills. Spills is not good at all, but if it's colored spills, spill from reflection from the wall, for example, or from the ceiling, it's not good. I mean, it's dramatically not good. So gray is the best. Gray color, well, you don't see. I painted gray color on the ceiling of the studio, and this is white. Well, it's not really white; it's dirty white, but still, the floor is white, and the ceiling is gray, about like 50% gray. Right in the between black and white, and this is the best. It's relatively still bright for your eyes, right? It's not like in some really dark, dungeon. But it's not that much spills reflections from it because it's not white. Okay. Next question. Can see the specification for the first assignment you mentioned in the video at the end of first part. Specification for first assignment, Naeem, what do you mean specification? I think I explained what needs to be done, right? Like, hey, shoot me spot. As far as I remember, it should be different spots, how you can create nice and smooth spots on the background on your wall, how you can make reflections, how you can well, it's really on that video where I'm telling you what needs to be done. So let me know what do you mean, because I'm not really getting your, I mean, what are you really asking, what specification? Says asking next question. When talking about best macro lens at start of the course, you talk about 80 or 150 millimeters focal length. Is it referring to 35 millimeter or crop sensor or same? Well, by default, I always referring 35 millimeter full frame sensor. But I mean, because this is what every lens for 35 millimeter camera has, even if it's for crop sensor, they use full frame sensor length, right? I mean the focal length. You just need to multiply it by the crop factor. So it's really 60 will work, 60 millimeters. Wider probably it's too wide. And 180 will work because I did have 180 millimeter macro lens, Canon 180 f 3.5 L lens. It's the best lens. I mean, it was amazing lens. So anything in between will work. Really, and regardless of crop sensor. Okay. Michael is asking, I'm definitely enjoying the course. Thank you, and seeing a big improvement in my work. Thank you. It's a great feedback. I'm glad to hear, Michael. This is why we are doing all this. Okay. Another question from Nate. When a lesson shows a simple speed light with a tiny softbox, is it okay to use a larger strip box? Like in the second assignment, the box setup or electronics or watch. Do we have to follow the light and setup you are showing, or can we wiggle around with something easier based on your gear, on our gear? Also, thanks so much, Lauren, and everything explained so well. Videos are fantastic. Thank you for feedback, Nate. Answering the question. It's okay to use different light modifiers. It's okay to use different lighting setup. At the end, we'll be looking at your result, right? How it will look like. If you will get it done by, I don't know, using candle lights, that's fine. I mean, right? It's nobody cares. Really, nobody cares if you can get it done within the sort of specified period of time. It's even when work with customers, right? right? They don't care how you shoot it. They just need the result within the time that you agreed. But just keep in mind that sometimes it's a good idea to try to do as close as possible to what I was showing. Of course, with your lighting, it can be different. For example, you may not have a strip box. You may have larger box, soft box, square one, for example. It's okay. You modify it, right? You cover half of it with just a black cardboard or whatever, and it will be like a narrow soft box left, and you use it as a strip box. Stuff like this. So try to modify it. Try to shoot with my setup, because you will learn something, and then you modify it. Then you say, okay, it's just too much. Alex is just, why he's doing this. If I can do that with the same result, this is great. That's awesome. You do it. You share it with us. You show the result. If result is the same or even better, super. No questions, right? We are result-oriented. We have result-oriented learning, right? We really don't care how you got it, but you need to do it, and the result should be kind of talking by themselves. Sometimes we have people with 3D stuff. They use 3D programs to do assignments. It's crazy, right? But still, because it's all the same. It's just Virtual Studio, and so result is good, then it's all good. Okay. Julian is asking, I'm currently shooting a backpack for a client. Do I have a favorite materials to stuff the bag to keep nice shape? I see. Well, no, I don't have anything like favorite. I guess anything, papers, really, whatever you might have. The packaging paper is really good. And I remember I was keeping stuff. I wasn't throwing it away when, receiving some parcels, Amazon or whatever. They do have those inflated plastic bags, right? All kind of shapes. I usually keep them aside. I have a box in the studio where I throw them. So it's easy to probe, to use it as a filler or for anything. Because they just weigh nothing, they cost nothing since it was sent to me. So this is what I usually have. Already? Did I miss anything? No? Any other questions, guys? Okay, it's coming. So from Cs, I have some boxes 60 by 60. How quickly will I need a strip box to continue with the course? Would you suggest immediately buying 2 when going out to purchase? Will agreed for the strip box be useful? So Cs, if you have budget for this, of course it's better to buy strip boxes. It will save you some time because it is easier to work with them. However, you can always use square boxes. I do have, where is it? 1 second. This is probably close to what you have. Maybe it's exactly 60 by 60. I don't know. It looks like, almost like 60 by 60. So for example, this will work on many cases. It will work almost the same way as strip box. Maybe a little bit more spills, a little bit softer gradient, but basically with all the same techniques, it will work. I did try it here, and it did work for me. But you can always cover, like I said, you can always cover half. Of course, you will lose light. It will be less. But if you cover the one half with something, use another half as a strip box, as a temporary solution. So you don't need to get it immediately. Talking about the strip boxes, you don't need to get them. But if you can, if you will be in that store and you have budget for this, buy it. Why not to buy it if you can? Because it will be, of course, useful. Okay. How do you work with the brief? With a brief, you mean brief from a client, or what brief? Julian, can you recommend a cheap optical snoot with bounce mount? Yes, of course, I can recommend. Let's look in Amazon. Well, it depends on what do you think it's cheap. What is going on? It's not. Okay, let me share screen with you. Let's do some research. Okay. Woohoo! What is that? Is it Amazon or Facebook? Optical snoot bones mount. What I tried myself, I tried. Well, there is a Fresnel lens, right? Fresnel lens, it's not really optical snoot. It's just a spot. What? Let's see. You know, all these will work because it's relatively simple. You know, things. I would suggest you just go somewhere, like for example, this one, $200, right? It looks good to me. Amazon choice, $120, 21 reviews, which is good. Newer, well, not probably the best quality, but at least this is well-known manufacturer, right? This looks cool. So yeah, why not? And if you have Prime, it's super cool because you can return it without any hassle. It's super easy. By the way, about shooting stuff and returning it, sometimes I use Amazon, and it's fine. I mean, I buy in a lot with them, through them, so I don't feel like, you know, I'm using them. But sometimes I can buy even really expensive stuff, try, test it, and return. Time to time, I remember I bought Hasselblad camera, you know, that's first mirrorless on Amazon. I tried it, I made a review and returned it. It's possible. Again, looking how much I'm buying through Amazon, it's completely fine. I don't think I'm overusing them. So, do I need this search? The search is optical snoot bones mount on Amazon. Here you go. Okay. So yes, from client later about the brief. Well, the regular routine is this: I'm getting the brief, right? I'm trying to understand what they need. Then we talk. I'm kind of expressing my vision of what I'll be doing based on this brief, and I need to make sure that this is it. I mean, this is what they meant. This is the super important. Otherwise, I mean, you'll be in trouble, right? Communications all the time, because most of the failures on the with the clients that I had, or I know that people had, you know, that photographers that I talked to, it was 90% due to the lack of communication. Someone was thinking and made an assumption that this is what it is, and made it, and boom, it's not. So never do any assumptions. Always go through everything. Do the sketch if you can. You know, if it's some creative shot, of course you need to kind of create something before you start shooting to make sure that this is the vision, if they didn't provide you with the sketch. If it's something relatively simple, like, I don't know, 300 pieces to shoot, you know, 300 backpacks, just make sure that there is specification. So is this what you were asking about? Okay, one more question. Going forward, what the schedule for Q&A have we moved from Fridays to Tuesdays? Well, every time we're gonna find the somewhere close to the end of the month, we'll find the date. We moving to different system. As you can see now, we use this you know, webinar jam instead of YouTube. and we'll use a calendar for this, and it will be a sequence of emails sending like, hey guys, we have this Q&A. You need to register all the time, because on the past it was time when sometimes I go online and nobody's there, and I was preparing no questions. So what's the reason for me? You need to make sure that you register for the next Q&A. We'll release it probably in next week. I mean, this recording will be placed on the course materials, and then we release next day. Send email to everyone. Just check email box and then register, and then it will be automatically auto reminder emails will be sent to you once you registered for the webinar. Okay, but it should be every month around end of the month. Okay. Cheapest good one. Yeah, talking about cheapest good one, the best that I found was actually is newer. Yeah. I'll send the link about optical snoot. This is I would buy, because it has $120. We know the manufacturer, it's newer, and guys, sorry, I'm jumping a little bit. Talking about this, okay, and that's it. A good price and good reviews. So this is what I would buy. Let's see. I currently have a roll of heavyweight Savage Transform. The question from Michael. That I use. Would you recommend also getting a roll of medium weight Transform? No, probably no. You may need it only if your lights, your strobes, or whatever you are using is not powerful enough, and you feel that you're losing the light through that thick diffusion for nothing. I mean, but heavyweight is the best because it diffuses the best. It's really smooth. Whatever gradient, whatever you'll be building with it, it's really smooth because it's thickest, and thick is really good. The best diffuser, it's frosted acrylic glass, right? That you can bend. I mean, they put it on the tables, but it also can be like a wall that you can bend and use as diffuser. The best. Why? Because of thickness, and it has very smooth gradient because of this. But yeah, answering your question, I don't think you need anything else. Heavyweight is good enough. Yes, she is asking about Q&A time. Yeah, it will be always 1 p.m. So we're not going to move time of the day, because 1 p.m. seems to work for everyone. Kind of work, right? 1 p.m. Pacific time. This is my time. So it will be the same time. You just need to be. We need to choose a date. Okay. Alrighty. Anything that I missed or not? We do have 20 more minutes. Well, officially we can talk about in an hour. I mean, for 1 hour. Okay. It looks like, well, we're all good. Guys, looks like no questions. No, it's coming. Steph. Hi, Steph. If you don't have the best studio environment as you recommend, for the purpose of the course, would it matter a lot? And what is the minimum space you would recommend? Well, it's a matter of convenience. The space that we use, it's a matter of convenience. Smaller, it's harder to work with. I mean, to work in. And beside just technical stuff like spills from the walls and like a distancing, you can have light or whatever background far enough. Actually, this is the biggest issue, when you cannot get far enough from your background just because the studio is small. and instead of blurry background, you have some stuff which. But beside that, it doesn't matter. I was learning my product photography in my apartment bedroom. It was 1-bedroom apartment, our first apartment in US, and I had a bed, and I had that, like I don't know, like 5 feet with like a way to the door, and this is where I was putting, my tables, my construction lights from Home Depot. This is what I was using, and I was, learning stuff. You don't need that much room for product photography because it's just small. It's tabletop photography, right? Anything larger, you need more room. But if you can set like a corner on any room of your house, like a corner in some room with everything, and you can always shoot when it's not really bright, not really sunny day, because you don't need to have interference with bright ambient light, then it should be good to go. So it's really up to you. It's not really required. Someone mentioned studio size. What the minimum studio? Yeah, so minimum studio size. What, for example, it's a relatively large studio, but my shooting area is relatively small. It's more maybe like 16 feet wide. 16, yeah, maybe like 16 feet wide, and the depth is relatively deep. I can go all the way there, but it should be enough. Think about like 20 by 15 or even 12 feet. Well, 12 feet probably too much, too little. Like 16 feet by 20, it should be enough room to run your product photography booth there. Okay, let's see some questions from Eleanor. I am starting to shoot video clips and finding all the settings difficult to get my head around. Okay, video clips is good. What exactly difficult is? I am wanting to get more assets from the set of thinking of the video short clips. It's more popular on social media. Do we have video tutorial classes? Well, video is, yeah, this is something that we really need to explore. I don't have much video. I love the video. I mean, I really need to put more time on doing this because I love it myself. And the idea, what I want to do, I want to get those nice sliders. Eldacron, I think they called one of the best for macro photography, product photography. Not those huge sliders, when you shoot video for interviews, but relatively short. This is enough for products. To get, the whole system with, all the motion and all kind of stuff, and then do some tutorials. We don't have it yet because, again, this is kind of a little bit further away from the certification program. It might be too much for most, but it's more like next step, right? After the certification, it's cool to have some sort of like a video course. So thank you for reminding. This is probably what we concentrate, CGI and video, what we will concentrate in end of this and next year as Photigy, because we have tons of stuff for photography. I don't think that we can do, anything else, but video and CGI is a must to know if you want to be competitive. So thank you. Not much for now. We do have some tutorials on ProClub with video, little pieces of video, which was just like a side effect from the tutorial. But again, it's not much. What the best product lens to get today? The best product lens, macro lens, depends on the camera. For Sony, I think it's 90 millimeters Sony lens, macro lens, f2.8, great lens. For Canon, it's either 100 millimeters or 180 millimeters L lens. For Nikon, I don't know Nikon lens, but there is no best product lens, really. It's like the lens is is not that important, really. I was kind of thinking in the real world. It's like a race car, and you're thinking, okay, what the best color of the windshield, the top line on the windshield, what the color? It doesn't matter. I mean, it's the focal length, like I said, somewhere between 60 and 200, and it will work. What's the difference between the optical snoot and the Fresnel lens? Well, optical snoot is something that you can do. I can use it as a projector, and you can focus it. The optical snoot, let's say you can put any screen like a gobo, and then make it, instead of being blurry, you can really focus it on whatever surface you're projecting. Usually it's a background, but sometimes it's a subject. You can have sharp edges, you can have blurry edges, and all that stuff. This is optical snoot. The Fresnel lens, it's always smooth, and it's just a spotlight. It's the same as honeycomb grid, but usually Fresnel lens has a zoom option, so it's like between 10 and let's say 40 degree. It's like a set of honeycomb grids. Plus, it's completely free from, sometimes honeycomb grid can give you pattern depending on the size and the reflector size. I mean, distance to the background and the reflector size and shape. Honeycomb grid can give you not really good looking pattern of the honeycombs on the background. Fresnel lens free from this, and it's beautiful, and it gives you more light actually. So it's different. They're not really replacing one another. Fresnel lens, it's for spots, for nice smooth spots. Optical snoot is for precision, for really if you need to highlight, let's say you're shooting stuff like this, you need to highlight only one headphone with the light, not this one. You can do it with optical snoot. You can have little gobo with little hole, so you can even make smaller spot, and you can have spot only on this one with optical snoot. You got it? Next question. Apart from the course, I'm curious to know the piece of software you're using to record live multicam studio setup. Can you share quickly about software? Oh, this is something that's waiting to be released. I'm working on that project. It's called Online School Creator, where I'll be sharing all this stuff. But of course, I can tell you. There are many ways to do the broadcast. Right now, we're using the hardware encoder. It's called Pearl 2. I can show you probably on Amazon, but it's not something that I can easily recommend because Pearl 2, and it's Epiphan, I think. Yeah, this one, this is what we use. The previous generation, actually this one, yeah. So it's a cool stuff, but the only drawback is the price. So it's $7,000. It has multiple inputs for the cameras, mics, and it can broadcast to any platform like Facebook, YouTube, and that stuff. And right now I'm using it together with the special, it's like a video grabber, meaning that HDMI in and then USB, and it feeds, it works as a USB camera. So it's a lot. It's not an easy, answer. But this is what we use. Again, I would love to explain it to you, but it will be a little bit off topic for this Q&A. I'm starting soon. It's called Online Studio Creator, and it's starting a new project. Well, you'll be, as usual, it will be tons of free stuff. You can learn a lot. It will be some sort of like a coaching program beside that, but yeah, it will be a little bit later. Okay. She's asking, Matthew's flags frames are not that easy to get in Netherlands and quite expensive to get. Can you provide other suggestion for making own translume diffusers? Well, it's not about exactly that brand, right? Not about that Matthew. It's anything like this will work. The only thing that you really need is to have this little piece on the side so you can stick it. You see what I'm talking about? Stick it and hold it any, I mean, in the air any way that you like. And while these are already pre-made, actually it's not bad, you know, 4-in-1. Oh, it's only one, right? It's one piece. It just, you can put all this stuff on it. It's not huge, but it's not little. Look for something. It may not Matthew. You don't need Matthew. It should be anything Matthews. I mean Matthews. It should be anything like this. Yeah, you see people doing all kind of stuff. And if you have access to, or you can find the welder, how you call it, you know, those guys who can do welding services for you. Because, for example, instead of going to welder, I just bought, it was like even like $70 or something, welding machine. And I learned a little bit myself how to, actually, you can grab the metal rods like this. You see the thickness and everything. You can buy it on a construction store and weld any shape of such stuff. And I did a few for me. Works great. So you can do it yourself. You can order it. Welder do it for just, you know, a couple dollars for them in just few clicks, sort of. Or you can buy, but any brand will work, really. Okay, so I hope you can find, it should be, I mean, in Europe there are many photographers and it should be something. Julian saying that Z-Point Macro 2 slider. It's interesting. Thank you for this information. Let's see what. Okay. It's way cheaper. It's interesting. Yeah, the cool stuff is Electron that they have, you know, the head for the camera, so camera can look while moving, and all this interconnected. That's probably they have it too. Okay, so they do have. Anyway, thanks. I'll take a look. Yeah. Welder. Yeah, really. I mean, it's fun for me. You know, I love this do-it-yourself stuff. Naturally, it's such a relief from desktop work. You know, when you sit and do all this stuff. You know, business, unfortunately or fortunately, but it is the reality that it's 80% you sit in front of the computer and doing some crazy stuff which has nothing to do with creativity or photography, if it's, or education even. It's any business like this. So going out to weld or to do whatever, it's really relief for me. Let's see. What else do we have? Thank you, Sis. Awesome. Can you use one of the sliders autofocus stacking? Yes. I think you definitely can use it if it's actually it's a good idea, because, you know, guys, with focus stacking, it's a long story, but to make it short, people know about focusing rails, right? Different rails, you kind of take a picture, then you either move it by hand or motorized. But by hand, I found that it's really bad idea. I was using it a long time ago, but all the time, really precise and smooth slider, usually it's relatively stiff to move, to slide it actually. And while sliding, sooner or later, it will move camera a little bit. It won't be just you know, one direction slide. It's slightly, because of the, you know, you kind of pushing it. For me, it didn't really work well. I didn't like it. So it's either you can refocus with the camera, either remotely, it's even better. On remote software, you can do focus stacking. It can be built in, or you can do it manually, meaning that you can just refocus by clicking the button on the software, and camera will do refocus and then take a picture, refocus, take a picture. You can do it by hand. It's not that easy. I mean, you need to be really careful. But really, refocusing lens will work the same way as moving. Yes, perspective a little bit changed, but when the camera moves, it changes perspective too, because it gets closer or further from the subject. So focus stacking, I mean, it's better not to touch, and if you touch, it's better to touch lens. With sliders, probably it's easy, but again, depends on what you use focus stacking. For jewelry, it's very little movements. And this is, we need most of the time when we shoot jewelry, right? And if your slider is really precise and can move like a couple millimeters step, most of them, yes. So yeah, definitely you can use it. Okay. Looks like that's it. We're almost 1 hour, guys. I'm about to say you goodbye. If we all good. Fujifilm cameras can do focus stack. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I have Fuji that 50S or whatever. Cool camera. Don't use it much, especially for jewelry. No reason, because of depth of field. I actually need smaller sensor for jewelry. Crop sensor even better. The quality is not that good, but you know, smaller sensor with big advantage when you shoot jewelry because of the depth of field is narrower, and you need as deep as possible depth of field for jewelry, right? But yeah, already. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who joined this Q&A session. In about a month, we'll have another one. Post your questions again on the forum, certification program forum. This will be easier for me to prepare, look for them if you have something in advance. Plus, you may receive your answer before the Q&A session. Okay. Well, stay calm, be creative. Don't afraid to do different things, not the way that I showed you on the course. I really encourage you to try different ways to shoot stuff, but look at the result. And guys, the most important, please don't cut corners. It's really your portfolio, it's your knowledge, and the product photography, it's super, super good, like a habit to have when you do everything like the best possible way. I mean, if you do good photography and then do not so good post-production, it will ruin your shot. It will be visible. I mean, it will be professionals who will be looking at your portfolio in many cases, and they know how to look critically. I mean, so, you know, you understand what I'm talking about, I hope. Already? Cool. Thank you so much, guys. Love you all. See you in the month. Bye. Okay. Woohoo.